Franklin is 103 years old. Born a black man in Mississippi in 1921, he wasn't supposed to make it to 21, let alone see a full century. His youth was defined by constant threat. Growing up in the Jim Crow South, he watched friends get lynched, shot, and simply disappear. When he finally headed north in 1940, his mother gave him a single instruction. She told him, "Franklin, you be careful. You stay alive." Today, a 20-year-old might be stressed about a career path or buying a house. At 20, Franklin didn't expect to see 30. Living to be an old man was a miracle he didn't even think to pray for. When society constantly treats you as a target, you adapt. Your primary survival mechanism becomes learning to make yourself small, quiet, and completely invisible. That survival instinct stayed with him long after he left the South. Franklin spent the next 40 years of his life trying to disappear, taking up as little space as possible. And that habit of shrinking away comes with a heavy cost. For Franklin, that cost has a specific name: Maria Rossini. 1946, a church dance. She was wearing a yellow dress. He watched her all night from the shadows, paralyzed by the fear of standing out or making a move. The dance ended, and she went home. He never asked her to dance. 6 months later, she married someone else. Today, he still thinks about that yellow dress. We tell ourselves we are waiting for the perfect song or the perfect moment. But waiting for perfection is often just fear, dressed up as patience. Young people often believe a very specific lie. They think the grand milestones, the wedding, the promotion, the new house, are the moments that define a life. The true weight of existence is actually carried on Tuesday morning. It's the coffee with your father. The quiet, seemingly mundane routines are where life happens. Franklin's life's work didn't involve changing the world on a sweeping historical scale. He gave haircuts for 64 years. Those Tuesday mornings with his regulars were his real legacy. People sat in that chair and trusted him with their stories, their worries, and their lives. With these everyday tools, across decades of quiet conversations, he made people feel good. You do not need to cure cancer or become president to have lived well. You simply have to show up to your ordinary tasks with love. That quiet defiance extended to his marriage. His wife, Dorothy, was white. When they got married in 1951, their relationship was still illegal in many states. For decades, he exhausted himself trying to prove to the world that they were acceptable, that they deserved to be together. He eventually realized he was acceptable the entire time. The only opinion that ever mattered was Dorothy's. They were married for 70 years before she passed away. Society likes to say that grief gets easier over time, but that is a myth. The burden of losing someone you love doesn't get lighter. The person carrying it simply gets stronger. Profound love inherently requires carrying profound grief. But for Franklin, the absolute safety he felt just holding Dorothy's hand made the pain worth the price. You don't wake up as a different person just because you've lived 100 years. Franklin is still the exact same kid who was afraid of the dark. Now, the dark is just a little closer. Time is the only currency that cannot be replaced once it's spent. You can make more money or buy a new house. You cannot make more time. Even with 70 years alongside the person you love, it is never enough time to say everything you need to say. Actively let go of the anger. Drop the grudges, the resentments, and the rigid expectations of what you thought your life should have been. You do not need to earn your place here, and you do not need to prove your worth to anyone.
Just being alive means you are enough. Intentionally do the things that scare you. Take the trip. Start the business. Ask the girl to dance. Failure isn't the real danger. The real danger is reaching age 101 and being haunted by the question of what if. In 2003, Franklin drove out to Maria's grave. He stood there, finally admitted he had been too scared back then, and told her she was his yellow dress. If he had one day left on Earth, he wouldn't do anything grand. He would sit on his porch, hold his daughter's hands, and do nothing but be together. He looks toward his approaching death without dread. Instead, he feels an intense, childlike curiosity about what happens next. A life fully lived leaves no room for fear. It gives you the freedom to stay curious and the clarity to embrace the moment you are in.